Hunting Bear in the Old Town District of Pasadena, California on October 15th. It's just after midnight. I'm talking to Nick, who's a video editor.
That's correct.
And he was telling me a little bit about how he thinks that this society would be better if we democratized corporations and treated homeless people better.
Well, I think if we put money in homelessness, we'd give people an escape and you know, a little more power to sort of fight for their own well-being. But yeah, I was telling, what was your name?
Chief Hunting Bear.
Chief Hunting Bear, how you know, in the past we fought wars to create democracy in our government, but corporations are just as powerful, if and I was saying it, not necessarily more powerful than government, because the government has military, but I think it would be a huge, it just makes sense to democratize corporations in the same way that we fought to have a democracy for our government, because the corporations are another monster in society, and if we held elections for CEOs, they might not be able to get away with everything they're getting away with. So it's just an idea. I don't know if it could help, but
well, they're not accountable. You know, like these corporations do whatever they want. Even the social media have a problem now that the only social media that reset my password after the police stole all my devices was LinkedIn. They used a identity verification called Jumio. The other ones don't give a damn. They just say that you work on a web page for 5 years and you lose it. They don't care. But there's a guy in town named Nathaniel Philip Rothschild. He's Jacob Rothschild's son, trillionaire, you know, and that son of a bitch tells the politicians what to do. There's no checks on these people, like the 36 families, the Rothschilds and Gerdas that do whatever they want, and they're above the law.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it wasn't too long ago that governments were rogue, and we had to fight wars to create a democracy. But what the fuck is a vote every 4 years for, you know, one or the other? That's not a democracy. And you could fucking have my vote, because that's bullshit. You tell me that's my democracy. That's bullshit. So, you know, I don't know what a more comprehensive democracy would look like. I think with all the candidates that have good ideas, it's like we only get to have their ideas if we elect them, and even then they don't have to do their campaign promises. But, you know, ideally, I think with any election, we should be able to vote on the ideas that all the nominees like bring forth to the table. And you know, I mean, I don't, you know, you could argue that it's not fair to the candidate to take his ideas and leave, but, you know, it's not supposed to be about the president. It's supposed to be about it's supposed to be about the issues, and we should vote on all the issues that are brought forth during the debates. But I do think that we should try to eliminate the closed doors and the royals factor of because corporations haven't been, you know, the world wars were really fought over corporations, because Mussolini defined fascism as the merging of corporation and state, and that was new because corporations were a new thing then. And so we've got to separate corporation and state, and not only that, but we've got to eliminate the parasitic nature of the corporations. And I think you know, I think the best way to do that is to agree that we need to vote in who is in charge of corporations, and that's just the idea I thought I'd share with you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You see it even on a small scale too. Like we're out here on Colorado Street, the Old Town District, the fanciest shopping restaurant district in California, and all the police have to do is call All the business have to do is call the police if someone rousted. Like like for instance, a couple of years ago I was told I couldn't go to Barney's Beanery. I couldn't stay. I was like all the way over here, like 20 feet away, and they told me that I couldn't hold my signs because they're political signs. They're very jingoist. They're like have the American flags and everything. And I was on a public sidewalk, and all they would do is call the police and just have me removed.
Well, I think the police in these kind of areas have like a, they see it as harmless because they're wanting to preserve the experience for tourists. And I don't know, it's just they see it as harmless, but what they don't realize is that I don't think they realize how, I was telling you earlier how I think that the homeless, I think, should try to do their best to treat each other better. And I think in terms of building relationships with each other, there's strength in that. And I'm not talking about some kind of revolution, but I think we should let go of politics and do our best to try to find enjoyment in life. And there are people in this world that will fight for their right to treat people like shit.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, That's just something that, and I think they've rigged it so that if you try to get successful in this world, that's the more terrible of a person you have to be. And that's their weapon against in order to stay wealthy and in order to stay in power. That's what they do. And I'm an atheist, but sometimes there's nothing else you could do but just say, you know what, I have no power, I have no control, but you're going to hell.
Yeah.
When you die, you're going to hell. And I'm just gonna sit back, and I wish I could send you there quicker, but I can't. And I'm just gonna laugh to myself, knowing that, not even believing it, but just say, you know what, it doesn't matter what I believe, regardless, you deserve it. Just sit back and say, you deserve, there's not a hell after you die, but I will sit back and say, this is a person here who deserves to go to hell if it existed. And that's all you can do, and sometimes that's fine, but say fuck it, just try to enjoy your life. And if that means letting go of your dreams and letting go of your career, we should reinforce, our government should reinforce poverty. It should reinforce the low side of things and not strengthen. Everybody's too busy competing to try to get to the top that they don't realize that if we all just sat back and said, you know what, our parents care about us, and they don't believe in socialism because they're brainwashed or whatever. And I'm not making that argument, but I'm saying, even parents who are against socialism believe in capitalism will sit there and say, this system is not going to work for my child, and my child is going to grow up and they're going to go through all the competition of school and college and work, and they're going to get through it, and then their parents may be even dead one day, and one day they're going to be out of a job, and they're going to say, you know what, my life starts here at the bottom, and the journey of life is an even taller mountain than all that work at going to school and all that stuff ever was. And so, if their parents are smart, they're going to say, you know what, we need to find a plan that embraces and encourages freedom, and that is the poverty side of things. We need to make the poverty side rich so that we could go there, because it's free for anybody to go there. And if we reinforce that, we don't have to be so we need to design a society that we want to live in, and because that's what made man successful in the first place, is we stopped and we said, let's because you look at one of the things we do when we look at nature, we look at plants, we say these things are dictated by the laws of nature. But human beings are smart, and they have the ability to steer and shape their own destiny. And if we don't start doing that again, all this shit in society, we think we're steering it, but really what we're doing is we're just letting nature take its course, and we've disconnected from our ability to plan things.
I took a slight break from that all of last week.
And we need to say, hey, you know, if there's work that needs to be done, we got to you know, I mean, labor should be like the military, you know. I see in the future there should be no wars, and we should say, when you see a person working, you should say thank you for your service, the same way you look at a military person and you said thank you for your service. It